Okay, this is my child art case study. I'm going to try to project this onto the screen and talk through it as I would have in class. So, my case study subjects were my twin cousins, Emmy and Oli. They are 6-year-old identical twins. They're currently participating in distance learning through Wauwatosa School District. They are very spunky, emotive, and girly little girls that just love to craft and make art constantly, and they are so fun to hang out with. So the video is included in here. It might start playing on its own. I am not going to play it on here because I don't know how it will record, but you can go ahead and see it in the document I will share. So in the video, they were creating dioramas for their distance learning book club. My uncle recorded this video for me. They are making a diorama for the book The One and Only Ivan. I'm not familiar with this book, but as they were explaining it to me, there are a lot of animal characters and they live in a zoo, but they're trying to be freed and be in a better enclosure that way. So this art was done at home using a lot of home materials. As you can see in the video, they used pipe cleaners, glue, a shoebox, crayons, markers, colored pencils, anything to help them color, construction paper, tape, and some other things that I might not have caught in the video, but anything that you can grab at home for the most part. Here are just a few pictures and you can see those materials. In the leftmost picture, you see there's a tree constructed out of construction paper, and she says in the video that she's making a nest with the pipe cleaners. Emmy on the right side here is making another diorama with the elephant in there. She actually made a full background and has a lot of 3D space going on. So the children described it as being in a very literal sense. So throughout the video, you can hear them saying, this is the nest, this is the trees, here's the sun, here's the grass. They have very concrete symbolism for all of these things. A lot of their focus is on the character in the diorama, so everything belongs to that character. Oli in the first part of the video will say, this is Ivan's tree, this is Ivan's nest, this is a place for Ivan's wife, all sorts of stuff like that. They also talk about the structures and the functions of each part of the work. So they would say for the nest, this is where he sleeps, or this is where he would go to be free from the enclosure that he was in. In an analysis, excuse me, in looking at the developmental level analysis, I looked at the article Young in Art by Roland. I took a few quotes from there. So children have developed a repertoire of graphic equivalents or symbols for the things in their environment. So you can take a look as they talk through their artwork. They have very concrete visuals of what a tree looks like, what the sun looks like, the classic circle in the corner with sun rays coming off. Everything has very concrete visuals. Additionally, they have space and time representations. So this is a diorama that they're using to describe their books. These space and time representations result from children's growing concern for telling stories and for showing action in their artwork. So you can see very clearly that they're mimicking what they read in the book. They're showcasing the new places that Ivan and his wife are going to live, and they're telling stories through doing this. So if I were there during the crafting of their dioramas, I would avoid assumptions. I know my uncle actually did a very good job of this. He can't really say, what did you make your tree out of, without knowing if it were actually a tree. So I would also like to ask questions like that, just kind of commenting on the structures that I see, which would be more like describing the lines and shapes. Bring them back to the composition and help them to reflect on what they have created. And that's from talking with children about art. So that would really help me to understand what they're doing and help me kind of dive into what their composition is all about. Additionally, if I were to instruct them further, I think it might be fun to use authentic materials. I know we just read a critical race theory analysis. In there, it talks about using authentic materials for the time and the place. For this, it might be more appropriate to use natural resources, even using like some grass from outside to make it look more realistic. So it'd really bring it into a more holistic view and make the art more realistic and authentic. And that's all I've got.